Hi guys, welcome to a Alien Covenant review. I'm Kien.
I'm Ryan Freeman.
And I'm Jay Olden Camp.
Alright, since I didn't see this fucking movie because I didn't get invited yesterday, I guess Jay and Ryan will talk about it.
He's still bitter.
A little bitter.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fuck off.
I'm like slightly looking forward to this and slightly not looking forward to this because I feel like this is how it feels when a parent has to tell their favorite child that they're disappointed in them.
Oh shit.
um,
Just really disappointed in movie line, or
I
understand you were saying like the horror part, but
yeah, the lack of it being a horror movie is what mainly disappointed me on my first viewing of it. Seeing it again, there's things that still bother me about the movie and just make me. I still like the movie.
Mhm.
It's a lot like the Mass Effect Andromeda effect for me. Whereas it's like it's not a bad game. It's good. It's just highly disappointing and not what I expected.
yeah, like the movie had so many times set up for where it could be scary, and it wasn't. Especially at the face hugger, I was expecting, okay, this is gonna be scary and awesome, but no, it just kind of jumped out.
Yeah,
And
I
it was
think.
like, oh,
Right off the bat, starting out, like that's probably my biggest disappointment with the movie because the entire time, it was a classic case of it was pretty much like Halo 5's misleading advertising all over again.
Mhm.
Like the entire time, Alien Covenant was like prepping to come out. They were advertising it even from like the early poster work and stuff that came out, like a year before release. They're advertising it as a horror movie
yeah,
and they completely got the advertising on this movie wrong. It was more of like I don't know how to classify it. Like I want to call it an adventure movie, but there's not enough locations in it to call it an adventure movie, and it's kind of an action movie, but not enough action to call it a straight up action movie. It's just I don't know what genre this falls under. It might just fall under strict like sci-fi movie.
I'd say
like,
sci-fi, a little bit of action, a little bit of exploration,
a little
not too
bit of
much.
action. I mean, there's some horror in it. Like you have like the classic like alien body horror stuff with
Yup.
like the back burster and the throat burster, which
Mhm.
were done really well.
Yeah, that was fun.
like
It's it just pops out.
yeah, like the little utero that pops out
Mhm.
of like their back and throat and stuff. That was done really well.
Yeah.
That was a really cool scene. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. But I didn't really find it scary.
No.
I was like, cool.
It wasn't
like,
scary.
But maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just desensitized because listening to other people like review this movie and stuff, they were all just like, there's some genuinely like disturbing, horrifying things in this movie, like the backburster and stuff. And I was like, really?
No,
Because
that
didn't
wasn't
really
very
like
disturbing whatsoever.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, cool.
that didn't disturb me
Backburster.
whatsoever. But I mean, getting into the main plot, like I feel like this review for me is going to be more of like a how Ryan would have done it for this movie. I mean, basically the plot is it's basically recycled from the old Alien film
Yeah.
where they have a set destination that they're traveling to. Like in the original Alien, they just finished up their job. They're on the way back to Earth. They pick up a stray transmission,
Yep.
and by company rules, they have to go investigate it.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, they're traveling to a new world that they're setting out for to go colonize. It's basically you have the main crew, and then they said some like 2,000 colonists in cryo,
hypersleep. Yeah.
and then like some like 2,000 like second generation colonists that are like these little tiny
Embryos.
embryo things that they keep frozen. And on their way there, they pick up like a random transmission from.
Well, first of all, they get this huge solar like flare, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That damaged the ship and sent them out of cryo.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to just give like
Oh, okay, yeah,
basic
yeah.
like overlay of the story. I don't want to get like too in depth into it just for review sake.
Yep.
Uh,
Okay. Sorry.
But they pick up a stray transmission, which like you obviously assume if you saw Prometheus that it's Shaw.
Mhm.
That's what I assumed right away.
Yep,
They go to
same.
the planet, find the crashed ship. bunch of shit kicks off.
Yeah, it does.
You find there's these little spore things that they activate on the planet that contain the
alien pathogen.
Yeah, but from what David was saying, it's like a mutated version of the pathogen.
Yeah.
Like it mutated over time to do this or whatever, and it like infects a couple of crew members, makes the aliens. David comes, save him from the aliens.
Yep.
You think, I mean, like, David was a nice part about this movie. I thought he was done really well.
Yep.
I've always liked David as a villain. I think Michael Fassbender is definitely the high point of the movie for sure.
His portrayal between Walter, which was the other synthetic, and then David were really good. It's like if Walter, he sounded very inhuman. He was just very like a mellow tone, all monotone. And you have David, who sounds very human, and I really liked Fassbender's portrayal of that. It was hands down really good.
Yeah, Fassbender was great in it. I think my main complaints with the movie are how shoved in the exposition is. Like, I wanted to know more.
Yeah.
Like, the scene when in the flashback when it shows David arriving on the world and the pathogen releases from the ship that he's on and kills all of the engineers. The explanation you get to that when Walter finds out that David like killed all of them himself and it wasn't an accident like David was saying, is that he wasn't created to serve, and that's it. Like, there's no further explanation onto why he unleashed the pathogen onto them. Like, it would have been nice to have the engineers in some of the movie more than that, just to get further explanation on what the fuck is going on.
Yep.
Especially from Prometheus, because Prometheus raised a bunch of questions about the engineers.
And not all, like none of them are answered. Really.
Yeah, like they don't bring up the engineers like once in this movie, besides that flashback where they're all getting killed.
Well, I think drawing from Prometheus, where Wayland was in the very beginning, it was the hologram on like Mars or whatever. He was talking about how David is basically his son, but unlike him, David will never have a soul, and thus like not able to create, life. And then in the beginning of the Prometheus, the intro with again David just basically after he just got created, and he's with Wayland, who's way younger, middle age, and Wayland's basically walking him through different human things, with like the music and other stuff. And you go back to here, it's David. It's like, oh, this is his chance to create life. And I'm thinking when he's dropping those the pathogen little canisters onto the engineer planet, that's his beginning and starting with life. And then you go back to where you see the white xenomorph and just standing there in front of him, and like David's like in awe. I think David was in awe.
Yeah, the neomorph.
The neomorph, and he was just like looking at it. I was like, oh, cool. And then that stupid captain dude just shot him, and David just freaks the fuck out because the guy just killed his creation. So I think David did it all in order to create his own image of life.
Yeah, it could be, but I don't know. The only thing with that is it doesn't really give any information that David would know that it would create life, because before that, all we seen that it did was either mutate things or just completely kill them.
That's true.
We didn't see that it would actually like create like a life form besides Shaw, but that's because what's his face blew a load into her.
Yeah, it's true. Whatever his name was.
I don't know. That's the lack of exposition in this movie is what really bugs me. Like, I like seeing the xenomorphs in this movie.
No, very much so.
But
are they the xenomorphs or are they just like the neomorphs?
It's xenomorphs.
There's both, because towards the later half, xenomorphs appear, which is really cool.
But I also don't like the xenomorphs being into this movie. This is where I kind of am gonna segue into how Ryan would have done this. I don't like seeing the xenomorphs in this movie just because of the lack of explanation on how they were made.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you find out, and everybody like called this from like before the movie even came out, that David created the xenomorphs, which you find out is what happened, is that David genetically experimented with stuff and eventually made the xenomorphs. But the explanation you get to it is so short and brief and gives you like any lack of idea on how David actually achieved it, that it's almost like they were making the movie and then they were just like, oh yeah, shit, we have to have a way for these things to get created. Well, let's just shove this in there, and David made them.
Mm-hmm. Maybe like the director's cut next year or so will explain more. They cut scenes. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's the only way it would make me feel better about it. But I mean, with the way they did it, I would have almost rather it be like Prometheus in the way that we don't see a xenomorph. Like, after viewing the movie, the way I would have done it personally is have the neomorph be created. David sees the neomorph and basically comes up with this idea for what the perfect being could be, and then the next movie just launches off from there. I would have almost rather seen that than throwing a xenomorph in there with that little of an explanation as to how it was made.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like the link there is at the eggs, right? Is that what you're talking? Like, because like the eggs are just there. So I don't remember any explanation of how they got the eggs. Well,
no.
Yeah.
There's like none. The most you get is that David says that he's become something of like a zoologist and stuff, and he's been like mutating genes and things like that and creating these different things. It never gives you like a full explanation onto how these things were created and stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
And that would have been like, that's what I wanted to see. I think that's what everybody wanted to see in this movie.
Very much so.
Was how exactly did the aliens like come to be? Like, how were they made? That's what everybody was kind of like hoping for with this movie, and it gave such a bare bones explanation into it.
It did.
Like, I walked into this movie like really wanting to like it. Like, my hype was real for it. Especially from like the opening title scene when they
it was very nostalgic back to like Alien.
When they reused the score from the original Alien movie on the opening title sequence and put it in there for Alien Covenant, and that was major nostalgia trip. I mean, there's elements in the movie that I really like. The characters being one of them. I thought the characters that the movie actually does pay attention to and follow were really well flushed out, and you actually came to care about them. Like,
for example, I didn't think I would like Danny McBride's character since, you know, it's Danny McBride, but then you realize, oh, like, his character's actually okay. He wasn't, like, just a randomly put in comedic figure. What funny stuff there was is, you know, just regular, like, jargon or whatnot, you know, it wasn't, like, out of place humor.
Yeah. And I really liked that. I was worried about Danny McBride being in the movie just because of that, and I wasn't sure how well he could do in like a serious movie. Speaking of characters, though, one major gripe I have with the movie is James Franco being in it is completely fucking pointless because he's not even in it. We see him in his cryo tube, and then bam, it catches on fire and he's dead. And you're just like, okay, or the first time I saw it, I was just like, so are we gonna see him in a flashback or something?
Yeah,
like,
but no, there's just that little clip of video that his wife is watching. And
it's like a 30-second clip, and that's all you get of James Franco.
If you watch the prologue with just before like they're taking off into deep space, that's the only stuff you see of James Franco completely. And I think like that's an utter waste of your money used on an actor such as James Franco, who can play really confident characters. And nope, guess not.
Fuck James Franco.
Okay.
One thing I will say this in defense of the movie, because a bunch of people have been griping about this online and stuff, is that the people in these alien movies always act like the dumbest people on Earth, breaking protocol and stuff like that. But I'm just like, Yeah, but it's realistic. Like,
It
if
is.
you were in that situation, like one of your friends was like dying and you didn't know what the fuck was going on, wouldn't you like rush around to try to help like save them?
Yep. Good point.
And like, it's human emotion. Like, it's realistic. It fits the situation. Like, they're not
No,
being
but if you're-
dumb. They're being emotional.
No, but if you're like in military or anything like that, they don't do that shit.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, in the original Alien movie, they weren't in military. They were just like
I know, but these are like
they were
trained
junkers.
pilots.
Well, like they were trained, like
they were trained, but they're not military or anything. They're just on a
they were trained
colonization mission.
What was her name?
They're trained to make settlements and stuff. They're not.
Yeah, she was saying they were trained like, for that for the specific planet
Mhm.
they were going to, not the one they were going. That they did land on.
I mean,
But-
like there are military personnel on the mission, but they're not the ones that you see that are breaking protocol and stuff.
No,
it's the colonists.
it's the colonists that are. And the captain, the guy who became captain, was like.
Oh, yeah,
"Is
that
it
one
our-"
sounded like it was kind of dumb though. The one that became the captain, just doing all that shit.
I thought he was a bit
Yeah.
of an idiot
Yeah.
myself, but like there's the one thing of like let's go explore this one signal because like it's what we should do. I think that's humans. It's like curiosity. Like
Well, I mean, like, given the situation they were in, it makes sense. You
Mhm.
just saw, like, I thought that it made sense to do that from that
Yes.
standpoint because you just saw your old captain go up in flames.
and nobody
in a
else wanted to
cryo
go
tube.
into cryo sleep.
Yeah,
for the time
because of
being.
that, I'm
Yeah.
assuming, because that probably scared them shitless.
Oh,
I would assume.
shit.
And then then they did a scan of the planet and find out that it actually has the potential to be more habitable than the
Yeah,
one
but
that they're
it's-
actually
mhm.
going to.
It's like-
So it makes sense to actually go and check
It
the
does.
planet out and see what it's like.
Mhm. And that was a stupid idea.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
in hindsight, but.
Tennessee's wife is probably the dumbest out of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh no!
Like when I was first watching the movie, I was amazed by her stupidity and how much of an asshole she is. When they bring back the first guy that gets infected onto the ship.
Oh yeah, she leaves
Yeah.
him and then the captain's wife in there like.
Yeah.
Well, like she was following she was following contamination protocol. She would have stayed in there too, but yeah, it was stupid. For
Yeah,
that.
well, my thing is, the captain's wife is like screaming for her to let her out and stuff, and she's just like, I'm just following contamination protocol. I can't let you out. And I'm just like, bitch, he just splattered blood all over your face, and you let yourself out. Why can't you let her out? And then she proceeds to grab a shotgun and start firing at the
Blindly,
Neomorph
just
blindly and ends up blowing up the ship. And I was like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's the surprise twist at the end that isn't a surprise twist
Yeah,
at all. I
with
think
the David Walter thing.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
everybody saw that coming.
Mhm.
They didn't really hide that all that well.
No, they didn't.
Another, like, I don't know, one of the biggest gripes I have about the movie is, and this is why I would have liked to see old school Alien. Like, I feel like if they were going to put a xenomorph in it, they should have done it this way, where it's more like the original Alien, where there's just one xenomorph and it's just terrorizing them the entire last half of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way they did it in this movie with the two neomorphs and then the two xenomorphs, it makes all of them look weak as fuck. Because they have to kill them somehow, and then they die like right after they get made. And you're just like, so this is supposed to be like this perfect killing machine, and
Well,
you're
like,
just
in
like
the
killing them
beginning-
no problem.
When the Neomorphs popped out, they were shooting them. They were kind of like the bullet. I swear they got some hits on the Neomorphs and just were shrugging them off. But maybe I'm wrong. But
Yeah, they got some hits on them, but still, they take them down like
Yeah,
way too easily.
yeah, like the captain doing just blast away that other Neomorph. I'm like, okay.
And another thing, I don't like the design of. Okay, I like the design of the neomorphs and the xenomorphs in this movie, but
Mhm.
there's one thing that I really hate about them, and it's that from time to time, they'll stand up straight
Yeah, the stand
like
up
a
straight looks
human.
weird.
And it looked really weird, and I don't know, maybe that's the point of it, but it didn't look weird in like the unsettling, like it's acting like a human, that's kind of creepy way. It was weird in the this looks really off and it's really stupid looking kind of way.
Question: didn't the alien in the game Alien Isolation stand up straight, or was it kind of crouched over too? I swear it was.
I mean, when the aliens stand up, they used to be like hunched over just
Yeah.
a little bit. They never
were-
stood
yeah,
like
you're right. They weren't like
straight up.
90-degree. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but the xenomorphs in this one stood.
God damn it.
Xenomorphs in this one would stand up straight from time to time. God damn you and your googly-eyed alien.
Video picture.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Standing up aliens.
What were you talking? Oh wait, the standing up straight. Yeah.
Yeah, standing up straight aliens. That bugged the shit out of me.
They're supposed to be predatorial.
Yeah,
Like they like. What I pick, every time I like picture how an alien walks, I just kind of picture how like the fucking raptors from Jurassic Park
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah.
Just like very stealthy, and like that's why they're crouched, because they're not like, because when you stand up like this, it's harder to like lunge
Mm-hmm.
at
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be these perfect killing machines.
Yeah, and so like you'd think that like, because like that's why like tigers and shit crouch, because they're like, you know,
Yep.
that's their stance to like strike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also the explanation on the pathogen really bugs me, because I feel like they just did it so they could have the neomorphs in the movie, because it's a very bare bones explanation,
Like
where David just goes like, over time the pathogen like mutated in very strange and different ways. Sometimes it would just straight up kill the host, other times it would implant something in them, other times blah 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 blah. I was like, okay, why?
Yup.
Like, because in the original Prometheus, it just straight up killed the fools. Like,
Yeah.
Burn their face.
yeah, like it mutated like oh god, what's the name of that one guy? Fifield, the rock dude.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so.
He turned into like a zombie, and
Yeah.
like I don't know, it makes sense in that movie. Only after I was listening to like somebody to, like give some explanation onto Prometheus and stuff. Whereas like the reason it killed Shaw's husband and only mutated Fifield is because they had different sorts of contact with it. Like it was straight up like inside of Shaw's husband,
Yeah.
because he like directly ingested it,
yeah.
while it was only on like the skin and like surface of Fifield, and that's why it did like different things to them.
Well, didn't it, like the snake thing like enter Fifield though?
No,
Other
it
one
entered
was-
the other dude that was
Okay.
with Fifield
Okay.
and killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it like it's a Max.
Max! Oh, they went to go. Max is here. So Jay and Ryan went to go see Alien Covenant, and Jay just didn't ask us.
Well, Max,
This is the
I
second
assume
time
was
I saw it.
tired. So.
Yeah, I was passed out.
Nah, that's fine. I just would. It would be not. It's the thought that fucking counts, Jay.
Yeah, Jay
You
showed up.
sensitive
I
I'm the
doing
bad guy
douche
now.
and I was like,
Okay.
fuck that. And rolled back over. And
To
then I heard
Jay?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jay came over when I was home, and I sat down, or I was laying down, and I heard Jay open the door to do laundry, and then like 30 seconds later the door shut, and I was like, no, not chasing the agent right now, and rolled back over and passed out again.
Okay, well, while I'm thinking about this before it exits my mind while we're off topic at the moment, I have to call out like a very known like source and stuff on things. IGN, I'm gonna fucking call you out right now, because IGN released a timeline of like Prometheus to the like all through the Alien movies to give people like an idea on where Alien Covenant falls in, and they fucked it up. They said that Aliens is set 7 years after the first events of Alien. If you watch the extended edition, you would know that's not true, you motherfuckers. Aliens is set at least 50 years after the first Alien movie. The first Alien movie
because
is
her
set in
daughter-
2122. Aliens is set in 2170 something.
Yeah, because
You dumb motherfuckers, do your research.
Because there's that scene of her daughter showing like her dead daughter because she
Alright.
outlived her daughter.
IGN, they're supposed to be fucking credible. I'm supposed to be able to trust this thing, and they got it fucking wrong. Fuck you, IGN. I fucking hate you.
IGN's a great assault, man.
All right. So what do you guys give the rating for the fucking?
Oh, another thing would have been
Oh
nice
my
to
God.
Oh, Jesus.
No, there's
Another
another
thing-
thing on mine too.
It would, yeah. I want to bring up Shaw.
Yeah,
in
that
this
was, I was
movie.
gonna ask.
Yeah.
Do you think he actually loved Shaw David, isn't he? Or do you think
I don't
he
think
did?
so. I think that's just a game he was playing with Walter.
'Cause I think David kind of went batshit crazy. Like, you know, just
It is.
if his
I
alone time.
I also think he kind of might have loved Shaw, but at the same time, I think he was like jealous of her, maybe.
So I don't understand why he made a gravestone for her if her fucking body is in that other room on the table there, dissected.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why
I think
have
it's a
gravestone?
sentimentality. I think it's a sentimentality thing.
Mm.
Like that to him, the body is the research, you know,
Okay.
but her soul. I mean, I guess apparently robots have sentient belief in some kind of religion.
Well,
But
David's
he-
the most advanced one because he was very much human.
But he straight up killed
Yeah,
her.
he did.
is the
Shit,
thing.
yeah, that's really the was a waste.
But okay,
So
you
dude,
got
like
you
it-
have
like-
to look. I think you kind of have to look at it in like a science, like if you are a researcher point of view, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, David has sentimentalities for, you know, she's the start of it. She's the catalyst of like this. Like Shaw's the reason
Okay.
Yeah.
why the alien. Like, so I bet it's like an in memoriam of like, you helped create this.
I could totally see that.
Thank
Also-
you.
The thing that makes me think David does love Shaw is when he's playing the little flute thing.
The theme
and he,
from Prometheus,
yeah,
yeah.
and he has her picture on
Uh-huh.
the desk and stuff, and he wrote that for Shaw.
Mhm.
That's what makes me think he does love her, but at the same time, David is a very unreliable source,
No
so you
shit.
can't trust much of what he says.
Also, another thing is like.
Like when the captain is leaning over the egg and he's just like, "It's perfectly
It's
safe, I
like,
assure
oh,
you."
You dumb motherfucker.
I'm just like, "You're really gonna trust this motherfucker? Like, you deserve to die." Okay,
Oh.
what were you gonna go with?
It's like I would like to see what happened to Shaw, the whole alien, like whatever the engineer pathogen thing, what happened to Shaw through that, because you just see her dead there, and it's like,
Yeah, you see her
Okay.
cut open.
and she's like mutated, but like I didn't see how that happened. Just
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's assumed that David was like experimenting
Yeah.
on her. Like, oh, really quick, just one little neat thing about David's little lair thingy. If you look in the background in one of the scenes, you can see David drew a xenomorph.
like Geiger's drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Uh-huh.
really neat.
It was really cool.
Mhm.
Other than that, getting into that, here's another thing that kind of bugs me about the movie, is how fucking weird it gets at some moments.
Yeah.
Like, the whole David admiring the neomorph, like, I get it, but because, like,
It's his creation. He was like, oh.
it's his creation, and it also kind of calls back to the original Alien movie, where, God damn it, what the fuck is the android's name in that movie? It's not
Ash.
Ash.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
When Ash, when they're asking questions about the alien to Ash, and Ripley just goes like, "You admire it, don't you?" And Ash just goes like, "I admire its purity." Like, the androids, like, well, at least Ash and David admire these things, and they like really love what they are, so it kind of makes sense. Just the way it was done, where the neomorph's like standing straight
Yeah.
in front of him, and he just like breathes on it, and he's just like, "It's like a horse. You breathe in its nostrils, and it trusts you forever."
I'm like, okay.
I'm just like, all right, scene's getting weird.
And then the captain just blasts his wizard. No.
Yeah. And then the scene where Walter's confronting David about everything, because Walter figured everything out.
Oh, then he
And-
kisses Walter?
Yeah.
It's like, wait.
And David's just like, no one will ever love you like I do.
Kisses him and then
Kisses him
pulls out the scar.
on the lips, full on kiss, right on the lips, plants a kiss right on Walter. So you see Michael Fassbender, all you ladies out there are gonna love this. This is Michael Fassbender making out with Michael Fassbender. Can you get any more wet?
Add James McAvoy to it.
And then stabs him right in the neck. And presumably kills Walter. We know better though.
Yeah.
And then the
There were
scene.
upgrades.
Then the scene when the first xenomorph is made, and David's looking at it, and then he kind of like lifts his arms up, and the xenomorph like mimics his movement.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
just like,
weird.
what the fuck is this? Like,
That was weird.
it was. Oh, there is one thing that I really do like that they did is how fucking creepy they made David.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean, like I've said this before to people. You can hate on Prometheus and even Alien Covenant. I really don't give a shit if you hate on Alien Covenant that much, because I thought it was going to be the movie that made Prometheus better, because it was going to give explanations to the questions that were brought up in Prometheus.
Some, but not enough.
Which is why I liked the Prometheus movie when it first came out, because I was like, obviously the questions are meant to be answered in the sequel. And Ridley Scott was like, no, fuck you, Alien fans.
So does that give you a different light on Prometheus?
No,
or
I
is it
still
okay?
I still enjoy
Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Still pretty enjoyable.
Prometheus is a good film. Alien Covenant would be a good film if it answered the questions that were brought up in the first movie.
There weren't much like answered.
Shit, I lost my train of thought now.
You were talking.
Where was I at before? I just got done with with the alien mimicking David.
Creep factor.
Yeah, the creep factor. You can hate on Alien Covenant. I don't give a shit, because it was a good movie, but it was highly disappointing and probably one of my least favorite in the Alien franchise
It's better than
entries.
Resurrection.
It's better than Resurrection, but that's not saying much.
That's true. I think it's better than Resurrection.
David is one of the best villains ever put to screen.
Yeah.
He's complex and interesting, and he's a total fucking creep. Demonstrated by when he kisses Shaw in the middle of trying to kill her, and
like,
just
this is how
stops
it's
and just
done,
goes
right?
like, "That's how it's done, right?"
It's like, what
and you're
the
just
fuck?
like, "Wow, David, you're a fucking creep, man."
But do you think it's like a throwback back to Ash, to where, like, I know originally, like in the novelization, like, and they were originally gonna have it where it was very sexual and stuff with that with Ash. Just, Ash has like porno in his like room, doesn't he? Or something like that? Yeah. So
Yeah.
is it like a throwback to Ash? You think, or just in general?
Maybe. I think it's just androids in general. There's a lot of things about androids being humanized, even in the books. Like, one of the books I read, it has a romance between she doesn't know what's an android at the time, so I mean, it's fine. Not really, but a human falls in love with an android in one of the books, and the android fucks her, and then later she finds out that it was an android because he was ripped in half and he's still alive, and he was leaking all that white stuff that the androids have in him, and she's just like, I feel like I just got fucked by my pet, and I was like, lol.
Shit.
But I feel like that's just them expanding upon androids in general, especially with David, because it does bring up that Walter was made to be more robotic than David was, because David scared the crap out of everybody with how human he was.
They did say that.
The fact that he could like dream and stuff and have ideas of his own.
And then Walter's just nope.
Yeah, Walter's just straight down the line. Although I do get the feeling that Walter actually really did care for Danny.
Yeah, Daniels. Yeah, I think he did. So he's like David saying like, I loved Shaw, and then you loved Daniels. It's like, no, and then Walter's saying you did it. No, David said it. You did it. You saved her out of love for your hand. It's like, no, it was duty. And like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Duty.
I think Walter really did love her. There's things that are good about the movie. Overall, it just could have been better. The only thing that makes me feel better about it is that it's meant to be a trilogy. So there's going to be another one, so we might get answers to those questions.
Because it's just not really open-ended. Like, if that's the end,
it's left super open-ended. And the one of the things that really made me feel better about it is that the xenomorphs in this movie are being referred to as protomorphs, which makes a lot of sense. They're not true xenomorphs.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering, because like I was reading the wiki,
Yeah.
and they called them protomorphs at the end of the thing.
Like which you can tell because they are extremely similar to xenomorphs.
But they're weaker.
But if you're a seasoned Alien fan like I am,
Oh my god!
you'll notice that there are some differences between them and the original xenomorphs.
If you freeze frame 1 hour and 55 minutes in, you'll totally tell that the back ridge is totally not like the regular xenomorph.
That is things that I was noticing. I was just like, wow, they look a lot thinner than I remember.
Because there's not a person in a fucking suit.
Actually, they did have people in suits.
Yeah, they
Oh
did.
my god.
Yeah, it was a combo between CG and people in suits using animatronic heads.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's really cool.
It was really cool. Shut the fuck up. But I won't get like too in depth into what I noticed because we're already going on so long. But I mean, just the only thing I can say is I just wanted more answers from this movie, and on top of that, I wanted it to be a horror movie, and those are the only two things that have it. I'd give it I'd give it probably like a 6.5 out of 10.
I was thinking about 7, so.
Yeah, like I'd give it a 6.5. It's worth seeing.
It is.
Because it is still a good movie.
Very much so.
It's just not as good as it could have been.
I think if it was marketed differently, and if it answered more questions, it definitely would have been better.
I just feel like if it would have been made differently.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Really, Scott, you're the man, but you done fucked up on this one. Like, I liked it because I like Alien movies. That's the only reason I like the fucking movie is because I like the Alien movies so much.
Alrighty.
That's
it.
That's it.
Alright. Oh, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we also have a Facebook page.
Yeah, Jay made a Facebook
I
page.
did.
Go and like that shit up. We'll probably post stuff on that.
Yeah.
Like my sexy face.
Alright, bye. Oh, this has been a review of Aliens. This is Kien.
This is Ryan.
And this is Jay Oldenkamp.
Hi.
Bye.
Damn it.